Welcome to Tamerlane's Trend On, engaging your audiences to trend on you. We are part of the Link Local Network show list, and you can find us at tamerlayllc.com or on the linklocalnetwork.com. Tamerlay LLC is a communications expertise company meeting client needs on multiple platforms, from social, mobile, content, and image communications consulting. So look for us on Tamerlay's Trend On every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the Link Local Network for our radio show. And we have had in the past our guest Jim Rice, author of Giant Cheesehead, and now returning Trend On guest with his new book, and this is a mouthful, Great Games of the Gridiron. Right? Did I get that right without even reading it off my cheat sheet?
You got it. The subtitle, NFL Championship Games, 1933 to 1965, but that's a good first crack at it for you.
All right, good deal. So we are looking forward to talking about the new book. We'll recap a little bit for those of you who may have not seen our Giant Cheesehead videos. We also have those on my website, tamerlayllc.com, and on the linklocalnetwork.com. You can find us on YouTube. Just Google Giant Cheeseheads. And Jim, you also have your own website as well.
And our faces come up on giantcheeseheads.com and also on the Facebook page for Giant Cheeseheads. So we're out there all over the place.
All over the place. And that's actually how I found you, because you were out there.
I was out there all over the place.
At Cedarburg Harvest Festival.
Yes.
A year ago.
Mm-hmm. A year ago.
And so your Giant Cheesehead had just come out. And what's the story of the Giant Cheeseheads?
Well, we're still doing a lot on the internet with it, and on Facebook, and speaking to different groups, Rotary clubs, Lions clubs, radio interviews about the book. It's been an interesting year.
And by Giant Cheeseheads, you don't mean like really huge?
Right, yeah, not the foam cheesehead. No. This is New York, Green Bay connection, and so I just put it together with the name Giant Cheesehead with the New York Football Giants and the Green Bay Packers, which is what the book's all about, and the connection between them. So the
kind of like any good romance, there's a love-hate relationship.
There you go. It's like Romeo and Juliet and the Capulets and the whoever the Montagues. Yes.
Yeah. Aren't you a teacher? Don't you know?
Right. I'm retired. Remember?
Oh, so all that stuff can go out your head.
It's gone. I have only room for sports.
So, okay, well, that's a good thing. So part of the fun of our banter is, of course, I have to say, my Deanna Farr, there I am with Brett. So I have this love-hate relationship. No, I just love Brett. I think he did wonderful things for the Packers.
He did.
And of course, you're all about the history of not just the Packers, but the NFL.
Yeah, football is a pastime of mine, so to speak. Favre is just a hero as well, a villain a little bit too there. But
it's that bad boy.
He's a little interesting. Let's put it that way. But great quarterback, and he's going to retire. His number with the Packers, which is certainly fitting before he goes into the Hall of Fame. And it's a little easier to forgive him when you follow up with somebody as good as him, or maybe even a little bit better.
Oh my gosh, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, so it's
on fire.
It's easy to forgive Favre when we're doing well without him. So
I didn't know who I loved more in that game last Sunday. Well, of course I loved them all, but between Jordy Nelson and Clay Matthews and Aaron Rodgers, we have like the trifecta, at least for the women fans.
Yeah.
Are there other players out there? I don't know.
You do see a lot of that stuff about Matthews in particular.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But yeah, the team's off to a decent start, and I have to just say, with Giant Cheeseheads, it was funny, the whole Clay Matthews thing with how he got in trouble being, throwing Kaepernick out of bounds, and their coach Jim Harbaugh, even referred to Emlyn Tunnell, who was a very physical player for the Giants in the 50s. And he's one of the Giant Cheeseheads because he followed Lombardi out here to Green Bay. And so all of a sudden, in the middle of talking about 2013 football, he brings up Tunnell, which got my attention.
And you were all over that.
Yeah, I was right there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat.
Well, good. So let's start with the Great Games of the Gridiron, and that came out of the research you had done for Giant Cheeseheads.
Right. The Packers and the Giants have played in 5 NFL championship games. And so in researching those for Giant Cheeseheads, the games took on a special meaning. The one in 61 and 62 when they played, I knew a little bit about because I kind of remember it.
Now for those of us young
Yes.
like me.
Yes, for the young people in the audience.
We don't know an era besides the Super Bowl.
That's right, right. The Super Bowl started after the 1966 season. Before that, it was the NFL championship game, and the Packers and the Giants had a good habit of being there a lot, and not only playing each other, but all the other teams. In fact, the Giants played in 14 of those games over 33 years, and that's a pretty good ratio. They didn't win as many as they would have liked, but that whole Packer-Giant thing got going in those games, and it is something that a lot of people maybe have forgotten a little bit about, and that's why I kind of went with the book. And there have been other books out there about those games, but not too many, and so I thought, I'll give my little angle on them, and it's been kind of fun with the Giants and the Packers, and of course the Bears and the Redskins, and the Lions and the Browns. There's a lot of good rivalries throughout the 33-year history, so it was fun.
So it was 33 years from the start of the NFL, pre-Super Bowl days.
Well, at the very beginnings of the NFL,
I know that,
the
right?
first, you're close there.
Close.
Yeah, pretty good for.
Hey, I may be a girl, but I do follow a little
For
bit.
Deanna Favre, just great. But the first
It's
13, 14 years of the NFL, it was one division, and the division winner was the champ. There was no big game. And then there was a tie one year, which forced the owners of the league to look at, a playoff system. And from that game in 1932 grew the first NFL title game formally in 1933 between the Giants and the Bears. And it went on from there. And then the Super Bowl era is the next, I guess, third era of NFL history, if you will, that started in '66. And the Packers and Giants have been all over all of those games. So it's kind of neat.
So, of the 33 NFL championship games, which ones do you consider like the best or the highlights? Which are the most notable or memorable, and why?
Well, the most notable is probably the game against the Giants and the Colts in 1958, because it was the only overtime game in those 33 years. And the Colts beat the Giants in Yankee Stadium. I was only 5, so I didn't understand and didn't see the game, but it's the most legendary game of all the title games.
So the Giants played in New York.
Played in Yankee Stadium against the Colts, and it went into an overtime period. Johnny Unitas led the Colts down the field, and they won with a handoff to Alan Amici, who played at Wisconsin, so there's a connection with Wisconsin in that great game.
A little Badger.
Yeah. So that was probably the most familiar to people when you look at all of these 33 games.
So then, because the Giants played in New York, obviously they had home field advantage, and that's something different now with the Super Bowl, right? They don't play; they find a neutral.
Right. The Super
Do I
Bowl's
have that right?
you got
for
it.
a chick?
Yeah, you got it. The Super Bowl's at a neutral site, down south usually, except for this year it's going to be in the New York metro area, so that's going to be kind of interesting in northern New Jersey.
So that would be an advantage for our Packers.
Well, we would be most comfortable in that situation, yeah. So
we can hope to play a warm, wussy team.
Yeah, somebody not used to that cold and the crisp air of New England and New York and Green Bay, just, the southern team, yeah. And so
wussy and football, guys, is kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah.
I don't think you
It
can
doesn't go well.
pound it around that much. So when Clay Matthews went flying after Kaepernick, we're just thinking wow, that's cool, there's a lot of air underneath him. But then you think, that's like several hundred pound guy airborne hitting something. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, and back in those days with the old title game, they didn't have the equipment, the protection, all of that kind of stuff. It was a little bit more mano game where you could, you could really go at somebody.
Oh, see, now that's my angle. Maybe we can collaborate on a book on
there you
football
go.
and fashion.
Yeah.
All about that.
But other than that 58 game, which a lot of people know, there's been great games. One that comes to mind with the Chicago Bears is in 1934. They're the defending champion, and they're kind of on a roll. They're undefeated, and they come into New York to play the Giants, and they lose because the Giants discovered that they could have better footing during the game with sneakers rather than just regular football cleats. And so in the second half, actually the fourth quarter, They acquired these sneakers from a local college, and they beat the Bears stunningly with like 27 points
And
in
there
the
was
fourth
no
quarter.
regulations saying,
No,
you can't do that.
it was kind of, it was only the second one of these games. Everybody, I guess, was kind of like, I mean, George Hallis was pretty mad. He wanted his own players to step on the sneakers of the Giants with their cleats because he was so mad. But that's another famous game. There's many of them. The Packers, of course, played in a number of them.
Would they have gotten away with that? Like, would that have been like
I don't
now,
know.
like with the bounty in New Orleans?
It's hard to say because it's Hallis. I mean, if it was anybody else, probably not. But anything to do with Hallis was always difficult which way it would go because he was the great godfather of the game and the founder of the NFL, and he was loved and respected, and he also intimidated a few people, particularly the officials, and so that I'm not sure how that would have went, if it had been somebody else.
So again, thanks to our sponsors for Tamerlane's Trend on the Link Local Network and J. Hilburn Custom Luxury Menswear. You can contact me for both of those information at TamerlaneLLC.com, and of course, Jim, to get your books again.
Other than the website and Facebook, anyone can go to Amazon.com or CreateSpace.com, and you just put in the titles and put in my name, Jim Rice, and they'll come up.
And again, that's GiantCheesehead.com.
GiantCheeseheads.com is the website, and Giant Cheeseheads is also the Facebook page.
All right, very good. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you when your next book comes out. Do you have a next book?
I'm not sure yet.
Stay tuned. It's a mystery. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
How many times have you sat down in the seat of a car or an airplane and nearly lost something important from your pockets? As we started to put together our travel-themed September issue, I was looking for the perfect clothes for guys on the go. I found great suits, shirts, coats, but I couldn't find the perfect pants. So I went to J. Hilburn and asked them to create them for us.
The Commuter Trouser that we designed for Men's Health is really the perfect marriage of luxury, fit, and function. It's not your typical casual travel pant. This is more of a refined dress trouser for a guy who's on the go, but also wants to look his best. You're getting a made-to-measure trouser, which means that one of our J. Hilburn stylists will come to you, take your body measurements, and then also discern what you value in terms of style, look, and feel. We added 2 additional front pockets, which are hidden on seam, which actually zip to secure your loose items and valuables like cash, keys, coins, etc. So now you actually have 4 front pockets without any extra bulk. The back pockets also zip, so you can secure your wallet or anything else that you want to keep safe. And the zipper is neatly hidden within the welt of the pocket for a very clean look. Inside the waistband, we've added a hidden pocket. You can stash your identification, your passport, any valuables that you might want to stow away, and only you will know that they're there. The J. Hilburn Commuter Trouser is for the guy on the go who needs functionality, but also values luxury, style, and a made-to-measure fit.
So there you have it, the perfect travel pant from J. Hilburn.
Tamerlane's Trend On is also brought to you by Integrated Mobile Marketing. Have you joined the mobile revolution? Integrated Mobile Marketing will optimize your current desktop website to match with content and message, but it will be optimized for mobile devices, and this will drive people to you, thus increasing your bottom line profit. Have you joined the mobile revolution?